My penis was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized.
This One's Wife. With love, Meghan. The reviews. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. While I provided you with my observations about the first two episodes, humorous as they are, but what about the media? What does it think about this new series? Let's start with looking at a review from Carol Midgley in the Times newspaper. If you thought With Love, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex's new lifestyle show, would be a smug, syrupy endurance watch, and that you would rather fry your eyeballs than sit through it, I have news for you. It is so much worse than that. Here is a duchess presenting her extreme wealth and mind-bogglingly exclusive lifestyle as if it is available to anyone who cares enough to pop a twee personal label on a homemade beeswax candle or lay a sprig of fresh lavender on a towel. That lavender will of course be harvested in a rustic wicker basket along with fruits and herbs from the vast garden of your Monty Shitshow mansion. Love is in the detail, This One's Wife squawks, explaining how she likes to feel like a present parent by, for instance, arranging her children's fruit in a perfect rainbow each morning. Advice that I sincerely hope every single knackered parent catching the bus to work at 6 a.m. in the rain will heed. In one episode, after she has put about 50 quid's worth of berries on a plate and decked out a summer house like there's been an explosion in a Cath Kidston warehouse, she tells her guest Mindy Kaling that it's possible to create this kind of magic on a budget. Here, I'm afraid, I laughed out loud. Tone deaf klaxon required. That a millionaire paid a reported $100 million by Netflix to tit around in a farmhouse kitchen wearing perfect pastel trousers could utter the word budget with a straight face and seems to suggest she's just another working mum may make you wish to retch into your rosemary-scented sick bag. Yes, I know that what Netflix is peddling alongside cooking tips is lifestyle envy. This is why This One's Wife, who seems to be auditioning to be the new Martha Stewart, wears a pricey beige cashmere sweater draped over her shoulders while cooking, like no one ever does, and a beautiful white blouse with lantern sleeves that nearly droop into her crudité platter. People love to press their noses against rich celebrity windows. Though the farmhouse here isn't hers, she wanted to keep her own home private, and I suspect it is far, far bigger than this. But it is all the relentless smiling, the desperate upbeatedness of this high-spec, lavish production that jars. At least I suspect it will with a more cynical British audience. Americans may feel differently. This One's Wife must have had face ache with all that grinning. In a world where people use superlatives about a cherry tomato and in California accents say, "That's so funny," but then don't actually laugh from their bellies, there is no authentic humour. This One's Wife says we aren't in pursuit of perfection, we are in the pursuit of joy. And yet we all know she told Oprah Winfrey that Kate made her cry over a difference of opinion about flower girl dresses. This is a series that entreats you to fill every moment of life with wonder. So do please try to remember that when you are next applying hemorrhoid cream or emptying the cat's litter tray. In fairness, here's what did surprise me. This One's Wife is rather talented at all this creative presentation lark. She has the knack, as we saw when she wrapped gifts perfectly, decorated cakes and demonstrated beautiful handwriting. I like that she let her late dog Guy, to whom the series is dedicated, lick peanut butter off the spoon like a real dog owner would, that she has rescued chickens, and that she's clearly not one of those Californians who don't drink alcohol. It also isn't a self-pity party like that other Netflix series, Harry and This One's Wife. But her skills get lost amid all the syrup and rehearsed hugging. This is performative joy. There is a point when an oblique reference is made to hers and Harry's sex life, and at that exact second, she pops a cork on a bottle of champagne while winking to camera. I bet that spontaneous moment took many retakes. Harry barely features in this series, incidentally popping up briefly to drink a mimosa at a garden party brunch and toast his wife, who speaks of healing and her new chapter. He looks like a spare part. This series should do very well. There will, I bet, be a second one, even though to some it will not be about taking the ordinary and elevating it, but taking the ordinary and making it insufferable. Couldn't they have dialed down the self-congratulation just a notch? They must know how spoofable it all is. I imagine South Park is penning a script right now. And Carol Midgley gives it 2 out of 5 stars. Next we go to The Guardian. And The Guardian is a serious broadsheet. Stuart Heritage leads with the headline, "Kiss the Netflix deal goodbye. With love, Meghan is so pointless, it might be the Sussex's last TV show." Unless it becomes a rating smash, and that isn't impossible, With Love, Meghan doesn't just represent the hard launch of Duchess of Sussex's new career as a Martha Stewart-style lifestyle inspo guru. It might also be the final thing she makes for Netflix. He then just gives us a recap, really, about their deal with Netflix, how Polo wasn't particularly successful, that Heart of Invictus wasn't successful. And then we're back to the programme. In truth, With Love, Meghan probably won't turn things around either, unless the broader public suddenly develops a hankering for long-form television programmes about a woman filling children's party bags with seeds and manuka honey. This means that the only successful content produced by Harry and This One's Wife so far has been, well, Harry and This One's Wife. This one you'll definitely remember because it was the reality show that came amid 2022's post-Megxit Burn It All Down tour. He then goes on about the Oprah Winfrey interview and the revelations from Harry in Spare. The thirsty part of This One's Wife, he explained, still exists. It's evident in the Vanity Fair story about her going to a publisher to pitch a book about divorce. And it's evident in her decision to rebrand herself in With Love, Meghan. The problem is that nobody wants to see This One's Wife making decorative ladybird crostini with Mindy Kaling. With Love, Meghan is the sort of gormless lifestyle filler that, had it been made by the BBC, would be used to bulk out episodes of Saturday Kitchen. There is a version of This One's Life that people would want to see on screen, but it isn't the joylessly joy-filled Richter's version of With Love, Meghan. No, they want to see the furious, righteous This One's Wife from Harry and This One's Wife. In other words, they want a proper This One's Wife reality show. There are rumours that Netflix may not cut its losses with the Sussexes completely, instead preferring to keep them on a vastly reduced rate. This is good news for the content developed but not yet delivered. But mainly it's good news for us. If this really is the last roll of the dice, then it may be time for Harry and This One's Wife to face the inevitable and become the new Osborns. 2 reviews so far, neither of them complimentary. Rather than take you through blow by blow of all of the reviews, I'll give you a summary. The GB News reports This One's Wife torn apart for narcissistic Netflix series. The Telegraph tells us, With Love, Meghan, this hostess with the mostest act must be exhausting. The Duchess of Sussex's new Netflix series is an exercise in narcissism filled with extravagant brunches, celebrity pals and business plugs, and gives it 2 out of 5. Variety describes With Love, Meghan as a Montecito ego trip not worth taking. Daily Mail, in This One's Wife's new show, a humiliating truth simmers below the surface. And it's pretty similar, with comment after comment made, which is critical about the show. A further review from The Guardian describes it as toe-curlingly unlovable TV. The Independent says, This One's Wife makes visiting the Sussexes look utterly exhausting. The London Evening Standard writes, With Love, Meghan, will this series fly? For laughs, perhaps? Vogue states, This One's Wife goes full lifestyle guru. Spectator, Netflix's With Love, Meghan is surreally dull, mashable, made for people who love TikToks about hosting guests. Nation World, I would love to be a guest at her house, but the Netflix show bored me to tears. Betches, it's not pointless, it's actually joyful as fuck. Harper's Bazaar, Duchess, This One's Wife is finally doing what she loves. There's clearly a split. The more cynical British media pan it. The Americans are a little kinder, but also do report on the fact that it's got a good shoeing on this side of the pond. How will This One's Wife deal with these reviews? Because naturally, her narcissism will draw her to want to know what people are saying about it. Her narcissism will deal very smartly, very promptly with what the British press says. She'll basically say, they're all racist and hate me, and she will stay in the third assertion of control. Basically, she will stay in a position of withdrawal and jettison what the media in the United Kingdom has to say about her. She'll pay it no regard. She'll lurk because her narcissism will compel her to lurk. But she will ignore it because she will simply dismiss it as being the rantings of a hate-filled and racist media. And this, of course, is one of her problems. She does not take on board criticism. She does not consider what anybody has to say about her that doesn't fit with her own view of herself as appropriate. And therefore, that's why she never learns. Her narcissism simply will not allow her to do it. With regard to the comments in the United States, those which are favourable to her will make her feel warm and powerful as a consequence of the receipt of the pure positive fuel. The ones that are a little more neutral will disappoint her, but it won't enrage her in the way that the commentary from the UK publications will. Her narcissism will tell her that it's a success because it will cause her to focus on the responses which are arse-licking and complimentary. And there's always going to be some that will be, for two reasons. There are some people that have the inability to realise what a terrible show this is, and they enjoy that kind of light, fluffy material. Secondly, there are those that will support her come what may because they've nailed their colours to that particular mast and lack any sniff of objectivity. The reviews that come from those individuals are the ones that this one's wife will focus on, that her narcissism will say this is essentially the truth of what has gone on, and anything else is ignored. Anything else is jettisoned. Anything else is the wild, rabid rantings of horrible, misogynistic, racist haters. It has not been a success for her. I've yet to find any wholly positive commentary from a British publication. In the United States, I think at best it's a lukewarm reaction. Not as scathing as in Britain, but certainly not falling over itself to declare it a major success. Thus, it's another failure for this one's wife, which we anticipated all along. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.